It's live! Alright. I am driving. Let's see who's around. But I gotta say, nobody's gonna break my stride. Nobody's gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Nobody's gonna break my stride. Alright. Before they shut me down over a song. There we go. Alright, guys. So, I'm driving. Wondering where I'm driving to. I am headed to Illinois to get medicine for my daughter that she needs because it's not available yet in Tennessee. And that's what I'll do because that's what it takes. So it is what it is, right? I am wondering if you guys could hear me and see me. Please give me some thumbs up, hearts. Press that love button down below because I could tell that way if you guys could hear me and see me. I'm not sure what the reception is over here. I think it's pretty good. I saw some hearts. Awesome. Thank you. Whoever did that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right now I'm in Kentucky. The biggest, it's like an hour through Kentucky and then like about an hour into Illinois. So it's southern Illinois that I go. And if I have any peeps that live in Illinois, southern Illinois, that would like to help out in the time being, please contact me because I'm networking to get help because when you're out of state, you can only get so much at a time. And that really is costly. So I'm trying to find people to help with this. So if y'all could help, cool. If you can't, cool. Either way, I'm going to get it one way or another because that is literally the only thing keeping us sane. So, like not us, but like our family, like Bella's sane. So anyways, update with Bella. It's been driving me crazy. I know something medically is imbalanced for her to have these behaviors. Like I just can't understand why such a drastic change. You know, I had the hormones tested, neurotransmitters. Yes, they're screwed up. We're supporting them. Nothing's changing. I'm like, there has to be something more. And she was diagnosed with what I believe it is in the very beginning when we were doing our biomedical road as a slight case. And we did homotoxicology. So it was like, it didn't affect her to the degree, I guess, that I believe that it is now. For about yesterday, 2 days ago, I sat down again in one of my lowest moments saying, I need to backtrack and figure out what is going on with this kid because I know this is not her. When she has, I microdose the cannabis, and when she has it, she comes out. You see who Bella is. She comes out. And I'm like, this is the kid I know. And why is it every time she has this? And I'm talking about like, yeah, if she gets too much of a dose, yeah, she might be a little out of it. But I'm talking about microdosing to where, you know, you're not high off your ass. She's just comfortable. And she's alert. And she's talking. And she's laughing. And she's, you know, she's just having conversations with me with what she likes, what she doesn't like, just, you know, the earth and animals and just like, I'm like, why doesn't she do this without this? What is going on in her brain? Okay? What is going on in her brain that at a drop of a dime, it's like something takes over. It's like those huge dial, you know, pupil, like shark eyes. It seems like they're possessed, like freaking hurting herself, full-blown punching her face, kicking holes in walls, coming at, like, this is not her. And I sat down and I backtracked. And I noticed when I backtracked, it was like 2015 is when she was doing her ballet class. And she went on stage and it was a great year. She was still going into stores. She was still shopping. She was still doing all these things. And it was about a year later, like 2016, 2017, where it was really starting to go backwards. And it was starting to go backwards where now she wasn't interested in the things she was interested in. She didn't want to go to ballet class no more. Then she didn't want to go to singing anymore. Then she didn't want to go into the stores anymore. She started hiding in the basket underneath a blanket. Then that was too much for her. Then she just didn't want to go at all into stores. And she hasn't been in a store in years. So as all those things started happening, I also been noticing the aggression getting worse, the anger coming back, all of these things that is not my kid. Then 2019, we found our CBD oil. We started using that, implementing that. That was amazing. It helped tremendously. All of that was shown. She's doing great. And then slowly again, this started to happen. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It got so bad. It got bad to the point of her behaviors where when we were in New York, I got the medical marijuana card and I started using medical cannabis. And we've been using it for 1.5 years, and that's literally the only thing that has calmed the craziness. So as I'm thinking about all that, I'm like, CBD oil, full spectrum CBD oil. Motrin calms the craziness. Medical cannabis causes the craziness. What do all those three things do? Can anybody guess what those three things do? They bring down inflammation. What is a not very well known, but becoming very popular in a bad way. I mean, not a very, not in a bad way, but it's sad. It's sad. There's something that has been not getting a proper diagnosis that is basically an infection attacking the brain, which causes encephalitis, which then causes tics, behaviors, aggression, depression, all of those types of things. So the funny thing is that I had an inkling for the past few years. And the problem is because there is no doctors who are versed in what this disease, if you want to call it a disease, dysfunction disease, whatever is, and don't know how to treat it. It was right before we left, so it was a little over 1 year ago. I found an allergist who has heard of this. And I went to her because she worked with a practitioner in the past that was in Jersey, a neurologist who treats this, who diagnoses and treats this. And this is how she was familiar with what I believed it was. So she did what she knew. We did all the blood work. We did this, we did that. And it came back nothing. Now, this is one of the tricky things about this type of diagnosis is that blood work, it's more of a clinical diagnosis. There's not really one test to figure out what it is. And the more I thought about it, she tried her best. We didn't, she gave me the guy's name in New Jersey. We were getting ready to leave. I never looked further into any of that because I was just like, whatever. Got the medical cannabis instead. She was doing okay. She didn't have the medical cannabis every day. She had it as needed. Of course, keeping the CBD in there, all that stuff. Not changing anything else of her protocol, just add in the medical cannabis when needed. So now it brings us to last year, where it started to progressively get worse again. It was around 2019. It was starting, not 2019, last year it was starting to get worse. And it was also when all this vid stuff was going on, a virus going around, right? I firmly believe this is one of many triggers of causing a flare-up, if you will. I believe that the vid injections going around is causing more flare-ups in these children and adults who have this problem. It is triggering, an attack on the brain, and it's causing the inflammation, it's causing the encephalitis, and it's causing brain damage, and it's causing a lot of problems. That's one of many things. So I noticed that it was getting worse. We moved out here, and just, she's happy about being here, she's happy about these things, but it's like she's still having these incidents, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How could at 1 minute a kid be happy, all of that stuff, calm, cool, collective, attentive, fine, and then like that turn into a psychopath, okay? So I started researching more of what I believed it was, because I knew about it. I knew some information about it, but not what I know now. So I started researching. I came across these 2 documentaries, and I will put them up above when I'm not driving. And I watched both of them, and I just bawled. I cried. I reached out to my girl Brooke. I'm telling her about it. I sent her the documentaries. She watched it. Our hearts are broken, because it's not just my kid. It's not just her. It's not just the vaccine injured, like autism. It's kids that are not diagnosed with autism that are dealing with this. There's teenagers out of nowhere dealing with this. Okay, so this is not just narrowed down to those with autism, whatever you want to call it. It's happening. It could happen to any. It's being diagnosed in typical children as well. So let me make sure. Oh, I gotta stay in my lane. Where are you going, dude? So I'm just looking at my map. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Because if I have to turn off here, yeah, I gotta turn off here. Oh, these big rigs! Get out of my way! I love you. Get out of my way. Have a blessed day. Just let me do this turn. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Okay, yeah, this is right. Beep, beep. Ooh, I'm getting closer. Okay, so I watched these documentaries. What's the names of them? Give me a second. My Kid's Not Crazy. You could Google this on YouTube. Like, look in the search bar on YouTube. I will put the links up above when I get to my destination. My Kid's Not Crazy. And Stolen Childhood is what I believe that the second one is called. I encourage every parent to watch it, because this isn't just about the special needs community. This is about all of our kids, and I'm going to explain why. So basically, everything I was watching, I started bawling because it was exactly what was going on with Bella. Every fucking thing that these parents were going through and that these kids were displaying is what is going on with my kid right now. And I'm like, this has to be it. This has to be it. I need to find a friggin' doctor who knows about this, who can diagnose this. Because if I get this diagnosis, then that means it's treatable. Then that means there's still hope. That means that I can get my daughter back to where she needs, who she is. I can get her back. And not only can I get her back where it'll be peace for her and her health, and her brain won't be on fire, because these kids' brains go on fire. When she does move out, she will actually have a great quality of life. And that is the ultimate goal, is to have the best quality of life you can, right? Many of you have reached out saying, I think this is what it is. I never doubted that it was. I just never had a solidification by a specialist that this is what it was. I never had a formal diagnosis. So I started researching to find doctors in the area. I found 4 in Nashville. One of them takes insurance, the other ones didn't. Not even going to get into the one with the insurance. They were assholes, hung up. Of course, everything always is out of pocket. Money is no object when it comes to my kid. I will fucking sell the house that I just bought to get my kid into a better place. I don't care if my husband gets pissed off at me. I don't care who gets pissed. Like, I don't care. Okay? Her health comes before anything. I have no problem doing that. So I found a doctor. He's been treating and diagnosing this disease for over 20 years. I knew about him. I don't know why I didn't go sooner. All I know is that I called up. I got an appointment. The appointment was for March 15th. Out of the 4 doctors I left a message for, that was the first and fastest appointment I could get. So then today, one of the other doctors called up the office, and I had a nice conversation with the woman there. And they're so woke, and I love connecting with functional medicine doctors, integrative medicine doctors, doctors who know what the is going on, okay? I love connecting with these people. So we had a nice conversation. And through all that, obviously, you know, I didn't book an appointment with them for many, you know, whatever. The whole point is that people are knowing what's going on. So when I get off the phone with them, I get a phone call from the office that I had to wait till March 15th for. And this is what I'm calling the magic of the 22222 today. There's an appointment that opened up tomorrow at 11. Thank you, Spirit. So tomorrow at 11, we are going to this doctor, and I hope to God that I could get some answers and possibly actually get a diagnosis as to what's been going on with this kid so we could start a treatment process so that we could try to get this under control, healed, and get her back. What is it? Anybody know? Anybody have an idea? A virus that attacks the brain, antibodies that could think that even when you attack, sometimes some of these kids, you treat the virus with antibiotics or whatever, and for some reason, some of them, the antibodies still think the virus is there, and then the antibodies attack the brain. It's like an autoimmune, like it's an autoimmune thing that attacks the brain. Does anybody know? It's called PANDAS. I highly implore everybody to understand PANS and PANDAS. Yes, Fran. So I implore everybody to research what this is, because through these documentaries, My Kid's Not Crazy and Stolen Childhood, again, I'll put the links up. These kids are being mistreated, meaning they are being put on psychiatric meds because they're looking at it as a mental thing. They're looking at it as a behavioral thing. There's kids, I was crying because if she goes into a home now the way she is and she doesn't have cannabis, they're going to put her in a she's going to be on a bunch of fucking drugs. That's what they're going to fucking do. That's what they're going to do. They don't know what else to do, right? And I don't want that. Okay, I'm the first one to say treat naturally, but I can't handle the way the situation is at the household, so I need help. So now all of this comes to light, and I'm like, you know what? I bet it's fucking PANDAS. I bet it's PANDAS because A, she had the Prevnar vaccine, which has a strep strain in it. If you didn't know that, now you know. And she's had natural strep when she was 7. She got it from her biological father's house. And after that is when I noticed all the OCD, all the lining up, all the tics start coming in. And it was a few years after that, when she was 10, 11, 10, I started finding help. It was 11 or 12 years old, she was diagnosed as having a slight case of PANDAS with the MAPS doctor we saw at the time. And again, it wasn't to the point where it was causing problems. So when we were doing the home toxicology for 4.5 years, I believe while we were doing that, it addressed a lot of that problems as you detox the body through the yeast and the parasites and the tobacco and the freaking metals and you know, the virus and all that kind of shit. It was helping support her body to get rid of the bad guys and keeping down inflammation. I noticed when we stopped doing it, that's when the deterioration started to happen. And again, it's a slow process for her. It wasn't like an overnight. It was like that's when I noticed stuff was starting to change. It was also during puberty, which that adds fuel to the fire. And you know, there's just so many different things I was like, it could have been. So this is my last ditch effort and final hope to figure out what the hell's been going on, because again, those of you who've been following her journey, we also went to a neurologist before we moved. So a little over a year ago, I saw the allergist, and I went to a neurologist because my daughter was saying, I want a new brain. My brain's on fire. I want a new brain. She kept crying to me, I want a new brain. I want a new brain. If you watch these documentaries, it's going to fucking break your heart. It's going to break your heart because shit is happening. Shit is attacking her brain, and she has no control over that reflux. Every time after we comment with the cannabis, she apologizes. Like, it's like she has no control. And these kids have no control. And we need more practitioners to understand what's going on and more practitioners who know how to treat this. And it's sad because a lot of, as you know, the medical system is broken. A lot of the medical community community won't even acknowledge that PANDAS exists, apparently. But also there's gastrologists that say that leaky gut don't exist, and we all know it does. So, it depends on who you talk to. There's a lot of doctors that just want to stay focused on what they were taught. And the problem with medicine is science evolves. Medicine hasn't. And it hasn't because they want to keep you sick. They want to keep you going back to the doctor. They want to keep you on your medications. They want to keep the cycle going. They don't give a fuck because it's been infiltrated. Don't get me started with all that. So let's stay focused on what we know. We know that my daughter's been having issues for the past couple of years, slowly deteriorating, slowly getting worse. I know that I'm at a point where if she does not have cannabis, there's hell to pay. That's how bad the inflammation has gotten. That's how bad the encephalitis is happening. We know she has a history of encephalitis from her original injuries. We know that this is not her. This is not her personality. And we also know that this disease is a disease that can happen to anybody, and it's triggered. It's triggered by a virus. It's triggered by, like, one of the cases I watched in the documentary. It's so sad. This husband, wife, 2 sons. The younger boy has PANDAS. The older brother, backtrack. The youngest one had PANDAS. They treated him. He kept getting it. Again, it kept like flaring up and they couldn't figure out why. One of these specialists who are treating kids and stuff tested the other people in the family, found out that the brother just carries a strain of strep. Apparently there's over 100 different strains of strep, which I never knew. Strep could live in your nose, it could live in your ears, it could live in your vagina, it could live in your gut, it could live anywhere on your body. And if you are a carrier, like I knew this, like some people just carry illness and they never get sick and they're just a carrier. Some people spread it, that way. And unfortunately in this family, that's what it was, to where the older brother had to move out. How fucking sad is that? Because his older brother was triggering it over and over again on his little brother until they could figure out something different. That's where they were at in this documentary. So, and again, there was, I think, only one out of the 2 that ended up with special needs. But these were just typical kids that all of a sudden regress. Like their brain's on fire. They want to kill themselves. They started punching people. Like the tics started coming. Like, we have a very real problem. A very real problem. A very, very broken medical system. And I'm just so excited that the past few years that everybody is starting to open their eyes to this, and that all of this is coming crashing down so we can rebuild a new system of health, a new system of healing, a new system that actually works for the benefit of the client, for the benefit of the patient, not the benefit of the doctor or the pharmaceutical companies, I should really say. So it gave me hope. It gave me hope that, holy shit, we might have an answer tomorrow. I can't believe that tomorrow, like, 2222, thank you, Spirit. I've been talking to my guides. They've been telling me it's medical from the very fucking get-go. And I think that's what's been driving me crazy, because I couldn't put my fucking finger on it. And I'm like, I'll be damned. When I talked to that other doctor's office earlier today and I was telling them the symptoms, she goes, that's clinical. She's like, it sounds like PANDAS to me. So I'm pretty damn confident, 99.9% sure she has PANDAS. And I just want the diagnosis so we could keep her out of the mental institution and make others understand that this is real, this is going on, the brain's being attacked, it's causing encephalitis, these kids are out of control. And it's even sadder when it's a special needs kid who can't talk, especially even my daughter who can vocalize. I mean, she's telling me she wants a new brain. We went to the neurologist, we ran all these tests, they say it's normal. It's fucking normal. But my whole point is that my daughter was vocalizing for a while now that something's wrong with her brain. She wants a new brain. And all these kids in these documentaries said the same shit. They want the fire to stop. They want a new brain. They want to die. They don't want to be here anymore. And I'm like, motherfuck, this has to be it. This has to be it. So, if I end up living in my Mercedes over this, that's what I do. I gotta have at least a car, I'll just keep the Mercedes, sleep in the back. Grace and I will snuggle in the back. But I'm serious, man. I'll put that fucking house I just bought right up on the fucking market, make some equity on that shit, live in a little fucking hut in the woods, if that's what it takes to get my daughter straight. That's it. And when I get back up on my feet, I get back on my feet. So this is where we're at. This is what I believe is happening. This is where I hope I get answers. I'm so happy that we could go tomorrow morning instead of waiting till March 15th. So I will absolutely keep y'all informed on what we find out. Probably pretty much immediately when I get out the fucking door, because if I get that diagnosis of what I believe it is, I'm just gonna bawl. I'm gonna have so much of a release of energy, a buildup of just like, it's been hell, guys. It's been fucking hell. And I went backtracked and I wanted to understand why the CBD oil worked, and then it you know, kind of subsided where it wasn't working anymore. Let me fill you in on this. It's not that the CBD oil, the full spectrum, is not working, because it is working. But what was happening is that my daughter's endocannabinoid system was never supported correctly. And when you have that support, which that's what the CBD oil was starting to do, it was actually helping support bringing down the inflammation in her brain, which is why it helped her so much. So I will never take it out of her protocol, because it does help. And it's very important to have your endocannabinoid system being fed and taken care of appropriately. But, you know, the reason why it didn't keep going is because the infection got worse. That's why. And that's why I take some big cojones from medical cannabis, the THC portion, which helps with the inflammation, the encephalitis, the seizures, the neurological system, the nervous system, all of that. That's why it's been working so well. So we have a game plan. I'm glad that it's going to be sooner than later, and I'm going to take it day by day and go from there. So now, almost in Illinois, almost where I need to be to get the medicine that should be available in every fucking state, everywhere around the world, every country. You should be able to grow that shit in your backyard and use it as needed, because that's the only thing that's keeping her out of the mental institution, and probably me and Mike out of the mental institution too. So that's what I'm up to. That's what's going on. That is the update. Please continue to set intention and prayer and love and energy to Bella for her brain, for her healing, for her for answers. And yeah, that'll be that. So thank you, everybody. Again, when I am not driving, I will put the links to the documentaries that you can find on YouTube up in the top. And again, they are called, if you want to start looking now, because I have, what do I got? An hour 40. Let me see. I'm supposed to be there by 4:45. It's 3. So I have about 45 minutes, 50 minutes left still before I get there. So it's called My Kid Is Not Crazy, which is 2019. I think that's I don't know. One's made in 2018, one's made in 2019. My Kid Is Not Crazy, blah, 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 blah. Just put My Kid Is Not Crazy, it'll pop up. And Stolen Childhood. Go check those out. They're about an hour each, and they're worth watching. Watch it. Share it. Share it with every parent, because you can have a typical kid acting out, and they're trying to say it's behavioral. They're putting them on freaking psych meds that they shouldn't be going on. They're putting them on 10 million different ones that are not working, that's damaging their body, damaging their brain, and shit's not getting taken care of, because that's not the problem to begin with. Kids are going into mental institutions, behavioral places, being freaking traumatized when that's not what the problem is. So share it, watch it, share it, and check it all out. So I'm signing off. Thank you much. I put my 80s on. I'm jamming. And again, thank you all for the love and support, the continued love and support. Keep her in your prayers. Keep her in your thoughts. Keep her in your intentions. And I love you all very much, and have a great rest of your day. Oh, the 2222 portal. One thing I want to just going to put out there. Make sure you're writing down what it is you want to create, what it is, what kind of life you want to have, what do you want to create in your life, How do you see yourself living 5 years from now? Not what you think can happen, what you want to happen, what you demand to happen. Create that energy right now. Today is the energy is crazy. Today is the day. Today is the portal to make those manifestations happen, okay? So do that. I got my answer today. I got my appointment from the 15th to tomorrow. Magic is real. Shit's real. I love you all. Peace out. Share this video to anybody you think it would benefit and help and serve. I love you all. Keep shining your inner light bright, no matter what people say. Love you. Ooh, what river am I on? Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky. I'm going over the big ass river. Okay, bye. I digress. ADD. Love you guys. Bye.